1, 2, 3, tuning into what's hot like a cup of tea. The Burp is live, it's time to feast with BLT icon bringing you the heat. Static on the dial and the crackle in the air, feeling like a rebel in the days wear and tear. The BLT icon's pouring out the noise, tuning into the Burp with the glitch and poise. Let's go!
Banter mixed with a dash of wild, keep your brainwaves swilling, keep your thoughts unfiled. Nothing is too strange, no tale is taboo. Catch up with the icons, there's always something new. Hot takes cooler than a summer breeze, hitting gems uncovered with the greatest ease. Let us take the stage.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is Super Bowl weekend. Welcome everybody back to the Burp. We took a little break. We are back and better than ever. And today we are going to discuss Super Bowl 59. All right, we're going to talk about what happened in the NFL championship games, both the AFC and the NFC, and what led us get into Super Bowl 59. And this year, who is in it? You know, is it Chiefs and Bills? Is it the Commanders and whoever else was playing football that weekend? I don't even know anymore. It's been so long. Anyway, so we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about what are our predictions. Who do we think is going to win the Super Bowl? Who do we think is going to be the Super Bowl MVP? We're going to also talk about what was our favorite Super Bowl that we can remember, at least. You know, some of us are getting a little older. We're getting a little longer in the tooth. So we've seen maybe 39 or 40 of these things play out. So we're going to talk about our favorite Super Bowls. Luca has something to blow our mind yet again. Surprising. Two things. I didn't think we get one. Also, we also want to blow your mind. Well, we want to tell you what we think you should know. Okay. And then finally, we're going to finish up with some trivia. And as you guys remember, Luca started catching back up. He's within 2 now. I had a rough go of it. We'll see what happens this weekend. Fellas, welcome back.
How's it
glad
going,
to be
guys?
here.
How's it going?
Absolutely. It's going good. You guys ready? You ready for Super Bowl weekend? You ready to talk about this?
Oh, yeah.
Ready as I'll ever be.
Perfect. So as always, as we get started, what are you guys drinking today?
Miller Lite.
Miller Lite. All right, Bildo?
Dudes, dry January is over.
Over.
Back.
Back to the
Yeah.
Coors.
Get those Rockies
All right.
going. I like it.
Perfect. And as always, Corona Light. Actually, that's Corona Extra. Oh boy, I'm going to be hammered after a sip of this. No, I'm kidding. We're starting a little later today, so I got a little bit of coffee going too today.
Oh, there you go.
Anyway, let's jump right into it. Let's talk about what happened on the NFL Championship weekend. We had the Eagles in the NFC going up against the Commanders. All three of us, we had hoped that it was the Commanders who were going to be able to beat the Eagles. Ultimately, the Eagles did prevail, kind of led by Saquon and that whole offense. We'll talk about that in a second. We are also going to talk about the Chiefs over the Bills. We all hoped it was the Bills. Ultimately, the Chiefs are going back to another Super Bowl in their attempt to have a three-peat. First Super Bowl three-peat in NFL history, a possibility for that. There have been 2 other three-peats for championships, which these guys right here, Green Bay Packers.
You know it.
So, yep, you got the hat too. There you go.
Yep.
So let's dive right in. I want to get your guys' thoughts on the NFC Championship game, and that was the Eagles over the Commanders. Billy, let's start with you.
Yeah, I was rooting for the Commanders. Really wanted that underdog story, take us into the Super Bowl. But, man, the Eagles, they came to play. I'm all in on Saquon getting MVP this year, by the way. He's shown time and time again this season that he's the man on that team, and they're just not playing in the Super Bowl if it wasn't for him.
That team does not make the Super Bowl without him. You're right. You are exactly right.
Yeah. So, my prediction of that game being a shootout was somewhat accurate. I thought it would have been both teams, but the Eagles stomped the Commanders out. I think the Commanders will run it back next year. They have a good thing going for them. Jaden Daniels has a bright future.
Yep.
And then my last little thought on this game is that the tush push gets old. It's a predictable ass play. It's a boring ass play. But hey, it works. And if other teams don't like it, find a way to stop it.
It was
Exactly.
fun watching the penalties there at the end there where they just kept on jumping it and everything. We
Yeah.
will award the touchdown if you don't stop it.
Right? Like, guys, knock it off. Nah, very cool. Okay. Luca, what have you got for us?
I agree with Billy. I mean, Saquon, I'm on that train now. Like, give him the MVP. Like, the guy just breaks out everything. And even if he doesn't have blockers there, he's doing some crazy juke spin moves and he's breaking it for a touchdown. I'm all for him being MVP. I did pick the over for the game at 47.5. Well, I didn't realize that the Eagles were going to cover that all by themselves. I mean, that was insane. Saquon's a beast. They didn't stop the run. It is what it is. I still think Jaden Daniels is that it guy, and I am excited for the draft next year. I think they're going to pick up another weapon to really help him out there, a wide receiver perhaps. And that team's locked and loaded to do a lot of really good things in the years to come here. I'm excited. I'm really excited for him.
Okay, very cool. And I'll kind of, the same sentiment that you guys have brought up this whole thing to. Very similar feelings, very similar thoughts. My one thing I'll say to that is if you allow that many points, you got some work on your defense. You got some holes that you need. And I think that's where they're going to go in the draft. I think they're going to go on the defensive
line. They got to hit that defensive line. Yeah.
So I think that's the direction the Commanders go. I think they're going to have a really good year. I think you're going to have them going up against, again, the Eagles for that NFC East Division crown. This game, obviously the Eagles did show that they've been there for the most part before. It's a crazy thought to think that, like, the Eagles team from Super Bowl 57, there's a lot of missing pieces, and here they are back. But you have that experience at least. So you could kind of see the experience coming through with the Philadelphia Eagles. The Commanders playing with house money, house talent, everything's new for them. So kudos to them. They made a good run for it. We still didn't want the Eagles to win, but whatever, they did.
The Eagles, the GM, wow, just making great move after great move, and they keep stealing the draft every year. Yeah. This year with both the CBs, they got Jalen Carter, who fell back to him in the draft. He should not have been there. Right. I think it was 9, and they got him. What a steal! Like they are doing it.
Mm-hmm. No, they made some really good moves, and obviously they're in the Super Bowl for that. Mm-hmm. So now here's to another team we didn't want to see win, the Kansas City Chiefs. They did win against the Buffalo Bills. We had all hoped that it was going to be Buffalo making the trip back to the Super Bowl for the first time since 1992 or whatever it was. And so let's talk about that game a little bit. The Chiefs beat the Bills. Do we want to say the referees beat the Bills?
Yes.
Or do we want to say the Bills beat the Bills? Because in no way do I think the Kansas City Chiefs beat the Buffalo Bills. So
no, they didn't.
Let's talk about that a little bit. Billy, let's talk about the Chiefs over the Bills, and what are your thoughts?
Well, again, bummed about the outcome because now we have Chiefs, Eagles, Super Bowl Part 2. Chiefs win with questionable calls, conspiracies that are still swarming around. Rest under investigation. Is that accurate? Like, did I read that? That they're
I mean, I've been doing some deep dives. Yes, I've gone on the Reddit and I've been looking there too. I think they're keeping a very hush-hush, but you look at the officiating crew, completely different. There's something going on. And the Packers Eagles officiating crew, they are under investigation from what I saw. So I'm going to keep doing some deep diving. I'm going to look into it, see if it's legit. Yeah. I mean, it's got to get embarrassing to this point when you have to investigate how many different referees to whether they're going to be legit or whether that referee is going to be in Vegas a couple days before the Bills versus Chiefs game and he's going to be getting payouts. Like, what's the point? You already make over $200,000 a year for doing your job for 6 months out of the year? Come on, man. Why do you need to be greedy and affect a sport that everybody loves?
Mm-hmm. Why not make more? Make more money.
Well,
yeah. Well, possibly ruin your career.
Yeah. Well, like the Chiefs are good. There's no doubt about it. But from what we've talked about, like, are they that good? Is what they're being portrayed as. Calls in their favor. Lucky doink field goals to win the game. if you cough in Mahomes' direction, the rest are throwing a flag. I mean, it's
Right.
just becoming very predictable. And you know what? Is Mahomes ever going to change his hairstyle? I mean, dude's pushing 30, and he's got that muffin hair like that these tween boys are doing when they're making their TikTok videos. I mean, it's like
He's got a style. He's got a style, man.
I mean,
It's-
I wanted the Bills. I thought it was their year. It's a shame for the Bills and their fan base that, hey, we're finally good again, but we're smack dab in the middle of a Chiefs dynasty. And then when they were good back in the 90s, it's like, oh, I'm smack dab in the middle of a Cowboys dynasty. It's like they can't catch a break. And then Dean Blandino, like that dude's got the whitest name ever. But Dean Blandino, I read something that like his brother or someone is like even was like all on the conspiracy train. So it's just like it's just so funny.
Yeah,
to hear that. So
okay, so it sounds like Billy, we're a little bit under the. We think the refs had a little bit to play in that. Luca, I know you kind of think that too. You went on the deep dive. What else about that game?
I mean, I got something to add later on, I think. But they've replaced every single wide receiver that they needed to. They got Xavier Worthy, who 6 for 85 and a touchdown. Talk about getting a rookie who could stand out. Keon Coleman didn't do that at all. He had one catch, maybe 12 yards, if that. I don't even know. But they keep figuring out a way to fill in those holes in their roster and making it work for them. So if it were a straight up game, had that interception that hit the ground not been a Xavier.
Mahomes is looking that way, breaking down, able to get rid of it. And somehow at the end, I think the Bills, no, they're going to say Worthy has possession. We got a flag down, but this is a catch by Worthy.
Worthy catch would have had a different story, but on the flip side, there was a huge big play by the Bills that ended up leading to a touchdown. So maybe not all of the game was the refs. I definitely think it was heavy-handed towards the refs. But KC, they know how to open up that game and go with Kelsey and go with the guys who can get that ball moving on that first drive, and they look good from the start. One thing I can't get over is how Mahomes wears that damn helmet. It's so pushed on in, like he's like some I can't even say it out loud, but he looks special when he wears that helmet.
So like the one thing I noticed when watching that game was, well, one thing first, when Travis Kelce taunted Damar Hamlin.
Chelsea knows how to get under your skis. Like, yep, that happened. And Phillips comes in.
And a little
tries for the flop.
This is where it started with the hit after he was across. Hamlin taking him to the ground. And Kelce came over and said, "What's up with that?"
Didn't get a flag. Got fined for it. Didn't get a flag for it. And then the other thing I noticed too is like the refs. Say what you want. You want to believe the refs are fixing it or not? I don't care. But what you can, like the refs were spotting the ball bad, dude.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was really bad.
I mean, I was out for the game, and there's even people like at the bar just saying like, "Oh, man, the refs are spotting the ball so poorly," and it's just like Josh Allen, I feel like had the first down on that sneak, and they just spotted it like shit. And
both times on the 3rd and 1, they spotted it backwards, and then on the 4th and 1, they spotted it backwards. I'm like, what are we doing here?
Well, they had the first down with the throw to the tight end. You know, when he was like tripped up and he leaned forward, the ball was past the line to gain. So okay. Here's my thoughts on this game, and kind of my thoughts on the state of the NFL as a whole. Roger Goodell, shame on you. Shame on you for promoting this type of NFL football. The fact that NFL fans are now predicting that these games are going to be determined by referee mistakes or whatever it may be. Shame on you for allowing this to happen. Shame on us for continuing to watch it. But the problem is a lot of us just love the sport of football. So Roger Goodell, you individually, you need to get on your horse, figure out what's going on with the officiating in the NFL in today's world, because the entertainment value that you're putting out there is not there anymore, right? There are so many of us who do not want to watch an NFL football game that is determined because of the referees and the flags that they throw. the misinterpretations. There are too many rules in the league now, So yeah, obviously the referees, one, I have a feeling that they are dictating the outcome of the game, right? Like that could just be what's happening. And it's the NFL, look it up, is actually an entertainment business now. They license themselves as entertainment. So legally they can script it if they want. Now, the worst part is that is throwing shame to the 100 years of NFL football that you've had and everyone in the past who actually played the game because of the game of itself. So, Roger Goodell, shame on you. Owners, shame on you. You guys have just degraded the game of football. You've degraded its wholesomeness, right? Like it used to be a game. Kids used to be able to play it, and now it's just
even watching kids out there now and how they react and how they play and how they try to idolize these individuals. Now, I'm not knocking any individual in the league because it's great to have those role models in your life. But when you see those role models do questionable things now, just because they know it's going to give them an extra 15 yards or it's going to help out the outcome of their game, it ruins it. It's kind of like LeBron. I would have so much more respect for LeBron if he didn't create the flop as hard as he did. You kind of ruin the NBA. You don't watch nearly as many people who are engaged in the NBA because of it. Same thing with the NFL now.
Well, here's my 2 cents too. I was thinking of LeBron too because he is an icon and he is inspiring athletes that play other sports to do that same kind of stuff. The flop created the flop culture. And then when you see Mahomes flopping out of bounds and gets a 15-yard penalty, that's starting from somewhere. And I know this is a football episode. I'm sure we'll probably talk about this when we get into basketball in future episodes, but LeBron ruined that culture of it. It is what it is. And the other thing I'm going to add to is, you know what? Taylor Swift's fine. I like Taylor Swift. She's a talented musician. She's a great singer. She writes her own songs. She's a talented individual and deserves the accolades she got. She's just there cheering on her boyfriend. That's fine. But like T. West said, the entertainment industry, they are showing her every time Travis Kelce adjusts his jockstrap, she's there cheering them on. It's like they do it because they know it's going to get views. They know these little teeny boppers that are wearing a red 87 jersey with the last name that says Swift on the back. Yeah. It's just a bunch of Swifties that are tuning into the game. Their ratings are shooting up because of it. So if you are a conspiracy theorist, it's going to be, are they fixing these games so the Super Bowl ratings can go up because Taylor Swift's going to be at the Super Bowl and they're going to show her? I don't know. I mean, I think,
that's my drinking game for the Super Bowl. How many times they show her?
Or so you'll be having alcohol poisoning then, getting your stomach pumped.
Yes, absolutely. Yep.
I'm just gonna watch the game from the emergency room.
Yeah, I miss football. It's here. I know football's here, but I miss it. I miss when guys knew how to tackle safely. Head hunting, it was a thing, but the good guys, they knew how to, tackle safely. Okay, let's move on. Shall we? Let's move on. Let's move on to Super Bowl 59. It is set. It's ready. Here we go, guys. It is Chiefs. It is not the Bills. It is Eagles, not the Commanders, in New Orleans for Super Bowl 59. Rematch with Super Bowl 57. The Chiefs did beat the Eagles last time, 38-35. What are our initial thoughts on this game? And if you want to jump right into your predictions, go right ahead. But Luca, let's start with you on this. What are your thoughts on this game?
I mean, I'm going to go for fly, Eagles fly. I mean, it's the only way we get to see Philadelphia rebuild is after a win. Get rid of some of the bad businesses. All the fans destroy half the city. I'm okay with it. I don't care. I'm all about Saquon and get him that ring. Hurts. I'm sick of people questioning him all the time. I like him as a quarterback. I'd like to see him get a ring. It's just cool to see them eat up everything. They did such a good job drafting and how they've ran that team. I'm all game for the Eagles. I want to see Saquon just blow out and go nuts. So just run all over that defense. I think it'd be cool to see.
Okay. All right. What's your prediction?
My prediction is Eagles win. It's going to be a high-scoring game. I know that they both have good defenses, but I think it's going to break out. It's going to be 38-35 Eagles this time instead of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
And I think here's the other thing. If I'm wrong and Kansas City wins, I think Kelsey goes and proposes to Swift after the game and retires. I think that rumor comes true, and he's just out. It'd be great to see.
Betting line on that right now. So
really, I'm going to go put some money on it.
All right, Bildo, what do you got?
I taking the Eagles, and I have a couple reasons why. One, I don't want to see the Chiefs three-peat. I don't care.
Yeah.
Two, I saw that video of the Giants, like the management in there, whatever the GM's office or whatever, and they're just saying something about Saquon and said something like, "It's gonna hurt me, it's gonna kill me, or whatever." If he goes to the Eagles, he goes to the Eagles. It would be funny that all comes true, and then Saquon wins them a Super Bowl because my prediction: Eagles win, Saquon's MVP, 31-27. Mahomes drives down last play of the game. Can't rely on Butker to bail him out. He's got to rely on himself and his heroics. They come up short. They lose by 4. Yeah, Eagles 31, Chiefs 27, Saquon MVP. And no, Jalen Hurts is not that good, Luca.
Oh, wow. No, I know he's not that good, but I don't think he's bad. So
that's why I said Saquon MVP because he carried it.
Saquon's going to be MVP. And just to justify, I think he's going for 100 yards, multiple touchdowns. He's going to eat so much.
Mm-hmm. He's unstoppable.
Mm-hmm.
He's shredding defenses.
Yeah, no, I agree. He really is. I think Saquon, again, is the key to this game for the Philadelphia Eagles. Jalen Hurts, he's not going to beat the Kansas City Chiefs with his arm. Maybe with his legs. So I think it'll be the running game between Saquon. I mean, you got two running backs there, right? Saquon and Jalen. Jalen's not as good of a running back as Lamar Jackson, but whatever. You know, they're both very capable running backs. So that being said, I'm gonna actually lean towards the Philadelphia Eagles winning this game as well. However, being that it is going to be a ground and pound from the Eagles, I really feel like it's going to be like a 21-17 game. And I think the Chiefs, I think they're just running out of gas. I mean, you think about it, they've played like 20, 21 games a season for the last 3-4 seasons, you know, so you're 80 games into this, and I think they run out of gas here. It was a good run. Let it be done. You know, they've got their Super Bowls. Just let's move on, right? Let's crown someone new. You know?
Yeah.
So let's
Let me ask you guys one question. Kendrick Lamar performing at the Super Bowl. Does he perform Not Like Us? His diss song against Drake?
I pray to get. I hope he does.
At the Grammys when he
it's
won.
So cringy.
You think it's
so
crazy?
Cringy.
Oh man,
it's such a. I'm just not a fan of the song, and it got overplayed way too much, and I'm just like,
you would be a Drake fanboy.
So good that he's calling him.
I don't even like Drake. I listen to Bad Bunny. I mean, I'd like to see him at the Super Bowl. That would be good. That'd be a fun one.
Stop talking after that.
Can we talk about Super Bowl halftime shows real quick?
Sure.
When are we gonna like go back to like a hip hop is great, I get it, you know, but are there like, I don't know, maybe you want to throw in like a rock band or, you know, a country music star? When are we gonna move away from pop and hip hop? Is it's all it's been lately?
You know what I want to see? I want to see Metallica perform at the Super Bowl. I'm not a diehard Metallica fan. I respect them for being kings of thrash and what they did.
Yeah.
But they have a lot of radio-friendly hits that were on MTV, that were on rock radio stations that are friendly songs.
Yeah.
The language isn't bad. Cool. I would like to see Metallica do some of their hits that are radio-friendly. I think that'd be a good change of pace.
Okay. Yeah, Luca, anyone you want to see offhand besides Bad Bunny?
Well, I mean, Bad Bunny just because he's what everybody's listening to right now. So I'd rather watch that than Kendrick Lamar. It's because I'm married to a Latino.
No, Bad Bunny, like really, you know, come on.
Well, I mean, think about who he's going to bring with. He's going to bring some other really good musicians that I like also. So I like Bad Bunny. But I really like the idea of Metallica, and if you could somehow combine AC/DC to be with them on that, oh, that would be pretty cool. I'd be
That would
all
be
about
cool.
that.
Okay. Yeah, no, I know. I haven't. This is really ignorant of me, but I haven't heard a Bad Bunny song. I've heard of him.
Then
I have
what
no
the?
idea who
Why
he
are you
is.
talking?
Because it just sounds ridiculous. I'm sorry. The name
Oh my
Bad Bunny.
The name Bad Bunny is pretty whack, not gonna lie.
It's literally the most
mean-
superficial level right now. Bad Bunny. I'm sorry. That's. I haven't heard. Maybe he's a great musician, great artist. Kudos to him. Don't know. So sorry.
He's got some good stuff. I was
Okay,
never
you know what?
really about him up until the last 2 albums. The new one that just came out and then the one before that. I'm like, oh yeah, he is actually pretty decent. I can listen to this. Good beats.
I'll call myself out here for not having listened to Bad Bunny, and I will take some time and I will listen. I'll let you guys know what I think. I'm more than happy to do that. So,
You might not know what a single word is he's saying.
well,
That's
okay,
the only bad part.
and that's okay. All right, great topic, guys. Super Bowl 59. Last part of this, I want to find out. I think we've talked about Saquon as MVP of Super Bowl 59.
Oh yeah.
Any other thoughts? Let's just the other side of the sword here, right? Like, what if the Chiefs win? Who's their Super Bowl 59 MVP?
I'm just going with the obvious, probably Patrick Mahomes.
Okay.
I think if it's gonna be KC, I think it's gonna be Kelsey because I have a feeling he's on his way out, and this might be his last one, and he's done.
Okay.
And I got more to add with that later on.
Okay. That's fine. So let's wrap up the Super Bowl. I think we are all predicting that the Eagles are going to win. We all know that Saquon's going to have a big part of it. So here's to stopping the three-peat of the Kansas City Chiefs and letting it be just the Green Bay Packers, who have had a three-peat of championships twice, by the way. So go Pack, go, as we always say. All right, fellas. Now here's a little fun part I want to just reminisce a little bit about. Guys, tell me, what is your favorite Super Bowl game and why? Who wants to go first? Because I know this one might take a little bit. There's been 60 of these, and we've been alive for like 39 or 40 of them. So
I'll dive right into it. I'm going to go with one of the obvious ones. I had an absolute blast watching this one. It was Super Bowl 45. It was the coming of age. We were allowed to drink at that time. I was out on Dukes on Water. I just got obliterated. I really don't remember too much of the second half other than us winning. We went outside. We were throwing snowballs up in the air, and camera crews were right there, like showing us celebrate and just go nuts. To be right there in that moment downtown was absolutely amazing. Jordy Nelson, he is my all-time favorite wide receiver that we've ever had. It was cool seeing him go off and just seeing this unproven team and a young Aaron Rodgers go nuts. I know you love Aaron Rodgers. I love him just as much. And that team was just really, really cool to watch. It was my favorite by hands down.
okay, that was a great Super Bowl. That was a lot of fun to watch. An improbable run for the Green Bay Packers when they beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. Bildo.
Mine is Super Bowl 31.
Yeah.
With the hat they're wearing. So the reason why is because I was a kid, grew up watching Packer games with my dad all the time. Never missed a game on Sunday. Halftime going up there playing catch. I had a Packers bandana I would strap onto my head with a cheese head on top of it with a Brett Favre jersey. I was geared up in Packer stuff every Packer game. And I think just being a kid, when most of you love Brett Favre, he broke your heart so many times with his gunslinger mentality.
Yeah.
So when they finally got to the Super Bowl, just that whole 2 weeks of it or whatever, being a kid, oh my God, can the team win? And that anticipation and that excitement, and then watching it with my dad and just seeing that first Packers drive, he trucks it to Andre Rison. That was one of the trivia questions, if you remember.
Yep.
I remember as a kid just being so excited. And then honestly, my memory could be failing me a little bit, but I'm pretty sure the Packers not dominated that game, but there was never a point of that game where you're just like, oh, they might lose it. Maybe there was, but I don't. In my child mind, it wasn't. It was always just like they had it, and then you had like Desmond Howard with his punt returns, and you have Reggie White with the sacking, and it was just an awesome game. And as a kid, just seeing my team win that Super Bowl, it was one of the best football memories of my life. So that would be mine.
Yeah, no, and you're exactly right. Like there was a lot of those things where, so that Super Bowl, a very underrated Super Bowl, had a bunch of records broken. Reggie White with 3 sacks in 1 Super Bowl. Desmond Howard with all his return yards. Yep. There was a couple different records that were broken that day, and there was one point, first quarter, the Packers went down. First and the second quarter, we were down 14-10, I believe. Or something like that. So we were down for just a portion of that game, but then we were we kind of ran away with it for that 35-21 victory. So I would say that was my favorite Super Bowl. But it's not. It's second. But I do remember that, just seeing all the pop-up tents, in our area for Super Bowl this, Super Bowl that, NFC championship gear, all the stuff you'd wear, the sweaters back then that were screen printed. It was just such a frenzy here in Wisconsin for that Super Bowl. My favorite Super Bowl, though, is probably the game that got me into loving football, and it was Super Bowl 25. I was 5 years old. It was the Bills versus the Giants. And I just remember like, oh, this is cool. What is this? Yeah. I like that team with the red helmet. I don't like the blue helmet. Those guys are kind of lame, and I like the Bills logo, their helmet. And that's what I watched this game, and it got me into football. And I can, like, for some reason vividly remember Scott Norwood missing wide right. And I'm like, what do you mean they lost? I didn't quite understand at that time. So, but being Super Bowl 25, all the memorabilia that came out, like I still have a lot of stuff that my dad got me, because he used to work at the old Wylands in West Bend here, where they'd have this promotional stuff. So he got me a lot of cool Super Bowl 25 memorabilia, and it just stuck with me. So that one is probably my favorite Super Bowl. So looking forward to a Packers Bills Super Bowl.
Ooh,
I would love to see that in the future. So,
I'd be down for that. Maybe next year.
Hey, we can hope, right? It's whatever that goofball Roger Goodell wants to make some money on, and we'll go from there. But
make some money on the Packers. I'm okay with it.
Whoever Taylor Swift was dating at that time.
Yeah, exactly.
Can I ask a quick question? And we don't need to go into detail on it for the sake of time.
Absolutely.
What is your worst Super Bowl memory or Super Bowl?
Ooh, worst Super Bowl memory. That's a great question. I have 2. I have I have 3. Okay. The Packers losing to the Broncos.
Yep, that was one of mine.
Definitely up there.
I did like Elway getting destroyed on that dive, though. Just
that helicopter tackle. Yeah.
He got destroyed, but he still scored or whatever.
They were in scoring position, and they still beat us. I still remember Brett Favre throwing a stupid ass pass to Mark Shimura to lose the game for us, and it's like, dude, just a classic choke job by Favre. But I'd say, so worst Super Bowls. Do you remember when the Patriots beat the Rams like 13-9?
Yeah, that was going to be mine. That was such a trash game. It was so boring. I almost fell asleep, and that was over at Ryan's Super Bowl party too. Oh
yeah, and then the other one for me is 28-3. I wanted the Falcons to win that game so bad, and then to watch Brady win another one in that fashion. Okay, those are my 3. I'm done. You guys go ahead.
No, I agree with to the T those 3, and I say 28-3 because of my boy Brian. He's a Falcons fan. He was ready to celebrate. He was so stoked, and my heart goes out to Brian. I'm sorry, man. It's one of the top 3 worst, but I agree with you, T-Wes.
Matty Ice melted.
Oh, so bad. And that changed his career the whole.
Yeah, it really did. Yeah. So mine would be 32, just because I was so excited for the Packers to repeat. Yeah. I wanted Brett Favre to be Super Bowl MVP. He didn't get it in 31.
Absolutely.
So to see them lose in the fashion they did in 32, I remember, again, being a kid just sitting there going like, oh, no, I can't believe this is happening. So that's mine. I will say 28-3. I was at my old house, Olivia and I made the worst chicken wings ever.
Oh,
It was like this
No,
crock pot.
dude.
Crock pot.
no.
It was a crock pot recipe from like this wing man book Olivia got me. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna try this really good recipe. I was so excited, but then of course I measured my shit out, and then I like put it in, and I was like, oh, I'll do a couple more splashes of this and that, and it tasted like shit, so bad. And so I remember I just made the worst food, and then I remember I was kind of the opposite. I was like, you know what, I kind of want to see the Patriots come back from this because I always just fucking hated the Falcons. So I was just like, I want to see them blow this. And then, so that wasn't my worst one, but 32 for sure.
Okay. Yep. That's a great question. That brings back a lot of memories. All right. Love it, fellas. Thank you. That was really good. This is going to take us into our next segment, which surprisingly enough, Luca has a second blows your mind.
Yep. Are you guys ready? Are you ready for this?
I don't know. I don't know if I am.
I'm going to give you guys a choice here. I'm going to give you 3 wide receivers to choose from. You have Keon Coleman, you have Xavier Worthy, and you have Xavier Legette. Legette. You get to draft one of those 3. I'll give you a hint. One of those wide receivers comes with an additional player. Now you get to pick one of those 3 that you get to draft. Who would you choose?
I choose to trade my draft pick.
Well, you don't get that. You got to pick one of those 3.
No,
nothing. No.
If I have to pick one of those 3 and like twist my arm,
yes,
kick me in the nuts. These nuts. Sorry, I had to. Did you say Xavier Worthy was one of them?
Mm-hmm. Xavier Worthy is one of them.
All right, we'll go Xavier Worthy.
All right. What about you, Bill?
Did you hear that one receiver? His last name is Landon. Did you hear about that?
Xavier Legette or however you pronounce it.
Landon.
No.
Landon on these.
I would take Xavier Worthy as well. The other 2, I know who they are. I just watched more Chiefs games, I guess, this year where I saw more of him play. So I would just pick him just based on the fact that I've seen him be productive.
All right. I'm glad that you guys chose him because he also comes with Jaden Hicks, who ended up having 3 interceptions and 3 tackles for a loss. Why am I bringing up these players? You might be asking yourself.
No, I'm
what
not.
If I told you? What if I told you the Bills lost that game before the draft? They traded away the 28th pick in the draft to none other than Kansas City, who drafted Xavier Worthy.
Who did? What team?
The Bills. The Bills traded away the 28th pick to Kansas City for Xavier Worthy. They then had the 32nd pick, which they traded away again, where they could have gotten Xavier Legette. And they ended up with Keon Coleman, who, let's just say, he's probably the worst person out of those 3 this season for what he did. And on top of that, the other pick that was traded was Jaden Hicks, who ended up being a great linebacker who did some really good things. I'm sorry, I don't think he's a linebacker. I think he's a safety who did some really good things for Kansas City this year. So mind-blowing. Bills lost this game at the draft because then they got torched by him too for 6 receptions, 85 yards, and a tutty. Imagine having that on your team for this game. They could have had that, and they didn't.
They could also have
you did it yourself at the draft. And that's what I got for you guys. Mind blowing when I realized that's what they did.
Doesn't that Legette guy eat roadkill or something, or like fried squirrel? Or
Yeah. I think that's the
he's
guy
from like deep south, something weird like that. Like he lived next to Waterboy down there in Louisiana.
Well, that is interesting, Luca. My mind is blown.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Partially.
Yeah.
Meh.
Good.
Meh.
What do you mean, meh?
Meh. What do you want already?
Oh, that hurts. That hurts.
No, you did some good research there.
Nobody's talking about this though.
Such a fucking
Nobody's talking about how the Bills could have had him.
That makes the Bills just sound like a clown organization. It's like next thing they're gonna go trade for Deshaun Watson. Like come on, guys.
And Justin Tucker, they can give each other massages.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Miles Garrett's like, I can't
Justin
take this anymore. Can you guys get me out of here? I need a trade.
He's next to get caught. That's all.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm. He's on the other spectrum. He's trying to get out of that.
He swings helmets at people.
Yeah. Let's be careful here.
It was Pittsburgh. Who cares?
Mason Rudolph has CTE and he doesn't even know he has CTE from that. He's pretending like he's a human being on a football field. Come on. So anyway,
Mason Rudolph has one of the most punchable faces in
oh my god,
the NFL.
dude, you
not that I'm saying mine isn't. I'm sure there's plenty of people that want to punch me. I'm just saying that dude, yeah.
Yeah, start with him, and then make your way our way.
Absolutely.
Maybe you'll be punched out by then. So, all right, we're gonna move on to what is it that the three of us, what do we think you guys should know? So to our listeners, what is something that we think you should know? Let's go ahead and start with Billy. What do you want our listeners to know?
Okay. Well, I'm going to tell you right now. I have a black belt. Taekwondo.
What?
A certified killer.
Uh-oh.
Did you buy it at Goodwill?
Weaponized?
No, I did not. I did used to do martial arts when I was a teenager. So I played football for 1 year. It was in 7th grade. The team was a 7th and 8th grade blended team. So naturally, the 8th graders were the players, the starters, and the 7th graders were the backups. And we had this thing called fifth quarter. I don't know if that's common or not, but we had fifth quarter where it was after the game. You played one quarter, all the 7th graders. I played defense. I was a safety, basically. And I almost had an interception, but I was too short. The ball went over my head, and I reached back like this. I couldn't pick it off. That was my only playing experience. So I basically been a couch GM my whole life. That's my fun fact. So the reason why I couldn't play football is because in those martial arts days, I had a back injury. I sprained my spine.
Oh,
to which it was discovered that I was born with some fused vertebrae in my neck. Doctor said you cannot take hits. If you take hit, you could be paralyzed. So they said you cannot no longer play football. So never was able to play on that level. Just a wannabe poser.
You were Bubba Franks before Bubba Franks was Bubba Franks.
I was Jermichael Finley before.
Oh yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, okay.
Finley.
Okay.
I was Sterling Sharp and just as much of an asshole as him too.
Man, you know what? The Packers have been kind of screwed with that. Sterling Sharp, Jermichael Finley, Nick Collins. Yeah, I think there was a couple
Nick Collins.
Too. Like, man.
So yeah, so I couldn't play football, but I'll give you a roundhouse kick to the dome.
All right. You know what? We need to roundhouse kick Luca in the dong and get that on video.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. I like that.
I don't think he can kick that high anymore.
Hell no.
I'll kick my ankles.
Luca, what do you got?
All right. So the Super Bowl is this Sunday. Mine is Kelsey. He is 106 yards away and 2 touchdowns away from passing Jerry Rice for having the most playoff yards and touchdowns. They both have 3 Super Bowl wins each. Is Kelsey better than Jerry Rice when it comes to the playoffs? And mind you, after the Super Bowl, he still played 3 less games than Jerry Rice.
Stop. You know what?
As much as you want to dislike the guy, he's had Alex Smith and he's had Mahomes.
I just don't want to see another Jerry Rice record go down. That's all.
I agree. I mean, I don't want to see anything. I mean, he's showing that. I mean, people like Gronk and look at him.
You know what? I would have gladly had Gronk as a meathead break down some of these records, but I don't want to see a Jerry
the same
Rice
thing.
record.
The only reason you think anything different of Kelsey now is because he's dating Taylor Swift.
No, that's definitely not it.
Really?
Yeah.
Luca.
I'm still a Jerry Rice fan.
Luca.
But I mean, if he's got the records.
You ignorant slut. I opened my soul about a back injury and you just say this bullshit.
Thank you. Okay.
I'm just talking about the Super Bowl week.
I
Man,
thought this
stick
What to
to
Know
it.
segment is something about us personal, but no, that's interesting.
Well, okay. I'll tell you
I
what.
personally want to let you know. I hope he doesn't break it, and I hope he breaks
Same.
something else, and the Philadelphia Eagles win, and then Kelsey retires. There, you got it, Billy.
Well, was that so hard, Luca? Come on. All right. So I tell
I
you
need
what.
another
I'll try
beer.
to
Can't
mesh
do
both
this.
of you guys here with a little bit of personal, and then a little bit of football stuff, right? So, not only am I not looking forward to this Super Bowl, I'm just not looking forward to the Super Bowl. 2, there is football around the corner yet. The United Football League
No one
season
cares.
2 kicks off.
No one cares. It's not real football.
Motherfucker.
Unless you have Goodell fixing games, it's not real football.
That is true. That is true. So, but just for those of you who do want to watch the game of football, not just NFL, the UFL is kicking off. And a little bit about me, I've always been a football fan. I was lucky enough where I did get to play football. I got to play 8th grade, freshman year, sophomore year, a couple games in junior year, and then I finished up my senior year. Had a ton of fun. Senior year was amazing. I got to coach football. After that, I was a volunteer football coach for 8th grade youth football. And then so I did that for a couple of years. Then I was a head coach for 5th grade. Went to another area, and I was a head coach a few years ago now for 5th grade, head coach for 6th grade. So I've had an opportunity to just be around football for most of my life. And it's my thing. So football's my thing. I enjoy it. I do enjoy now as I'm getting older watching my kids do their sports, and as I'm watching football, I get to kind of be that couch GM, that armchair quarterback. So I get to be that guy because I want to be that guy. So that's a little bit about me, and a little bit of what you ought to know is that there is still football coming right around the corner. I know my wife cannot wait to watch it with me. So
There you go.
all right, y'all, that's it for the Super Bowl preview. We get to finish with some trivia. Here we go. Let's see if we can make something happen. Billy, the show is yours.
Okay, let me grab a beer real quick.
Uh-oh.
You got a cooler down there? I had to pack all my beers here in can koozies and bring them on up.
My better half just literally opened the door and rolled one to me.
That is the way to go.
All right.
Now we know who
Nice
the real
job,
MVP
Olivia.
of Super Bowl 59 is.
We are going to talk trivia. So let me pull it up. We have T West at 19. Luca, you're at 17.
Just
Sticking
wait
with
until
the-
like football season's done and we have to talk about basketball and baseball. That's where I'm
I'll
gonna
just do a
come
football
back.
question all the time so you lose.
Ah,
Yeah.
son of a
Nice job, dickhead.
man. Really ruined that one for myself.
Nope. So keep your football hats on because this is our last-ish football one. So I stuck with the football theme this time. So T West, don't think I need to ask again. Think you're going first, correct?
Let's go.
Who holds
No,
the
I know he's
NFL
getting
record?
all the layups.
God damn it, Luca.
Who holds the record for all the layups? So T West.
Who holds the NFL record for most receiving yards in the regular season?
Oh my goodness.
In the regular season? Shit, that is Randy Moss holds it for touchdowns. But yards is I'm just gonna go Randy Moss because I don't actually know.
That is incorrect. Luca.
Lots of-
Megatron. He is
Megatron.
Calvin Johnson. And I believe it's 1,946 yards. Don't quote me on that, but I
I
think
don't
it's
know the
close.
exact numbers. Shout out to PJ on that one because I was one of his favorite players back in the day.
Mhm.
had to throw
I
one out
remember
for
playing
Megatron.
them.
I totally forgot
You
about
playing
Megatron.
against Ryan and PJ In Madden, it'd be the Lions, and Megatron would get the ball every single time and destroy us. Oh,
And
man.
Megatron pulled a Barry Sanders. He kind of just called it quits like
Yeah.
in his prime. It's kind of crazy.
Just another
that's
soul
nuts.
lost by the Lions. That's for sure.
Yep, that sucks.
Luca, you ready?
That wouldn't happen now.
Question 2.
Find out.
Ready, Luca?
Yeah. Throw it
How
out.
long is the NFL play clock?
40 seconds.
Correct.
Oh, that was like a trick question. I was like, wait, what? I had to think about that.
Uh-oh. You guys, it's tied right now.
We are all tied up, man.
It's okay. It's okay.
Question
There's still so
3
much
for
more to
T
go.
West. What was the name of the trick play pulled off by the Tennessee Titans that won them the game during the 1999 AFC wildcard game?
Oh my God. Something. Oh man.
I'm gonna butcher it if you get this wrong. I know what it is, but I'm gonna butcher it.
Right. I know it's where Frank Wycheck threw it back to Kevin Bayard.
That is the play. Yep.
That's the play, and it was called the wasn't the miracle. Fuck. All right, Luca, butcher it. I don't know.
Is it the Music City
That's what it
Miracle?
Holy shit, Luca!
Yeah.
Music City.
No
Luca just
way.
took the lead. Oh my god!
Dude,
And
I'm
he
telling
gets
you,
a
I
chance.
switched over to Miller Lite. It is a lifesaver.
And he gets question 4.
Yeah.
Who is currently the longest tenured coach at 17 seasons with the same team?
Oh, that's a good one. Is it Mike Tomlin?
It is Mike Tomlin.
No way. Yeah, dude's been there forever, and he just can't get fired.
Luca, dog, you're 4 for 4.
Yep.
T West.
Maybe we want to keep it football and not switch to baseball or basketball.
Switch to like swimming or something.
Figure skating.
West.
Tanya Harding, every question.
Who was the first player to return a punt for a touchdown in his NFL debut? First
Ooh.
player to return a punt for a touchdown in his NFL debut.
Randall Cobb.
Incorrect.
Really?
No, it was a kickoff. He did a kickoff in his debut against the Saints. Shit.
Wow. I don't think I know this, but I'm going to go with the obvious and say Devin Hester.
That is incorrect.
Oh, who was it?
Deion Sanders.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Okay.
All right. Luca, question 6. Did Dan Marino have more or less than 100 rushing yards in his career?
Oh, man. You know, the obvious is over, so I'm going to say under. He had under 100 in his career.
That is true. At 87.
What? Oh, my goodness. Talk about a pocket passer. Wow. That's 5.
Oh, man. So Luca got 5.
Yep.
So it's now 19-22 in favor of Luca. You guys, we're not even halfway to 15.
Hey, if you guys want to end it at 25 now, or like you want to end it at 23, we can end it at 23.
Actually, we changed the rules. It's whoever has the less points on February 4th, 2025.
It's all good. It's all good.
Okay, bonus question, 2 points. Spit out your answer as soon as you have it. Ready?
Yep.
Which 2023 team had both the offensive and defensive rookie of the year?
Houston Texans.
Yep. Well, I'll be.
I kept on wanting to say the Jaguars. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
It was Anderson and CJ Stroud, I believe.
Mm-hmm. It is 24-19.
Yeah.
Hey, so then technically, do I win?
We just said less points.
Yeah.
I had I heard last points.
No, like less points.
No, that's not. Nobody wins with less.
We're
points unless
Benjamin
you're golfing.
buttoning this.
Oh, okay.
Congratulations, Luca. You took the lead. You are
Now,
almost halfway to that lids box.
Do you feel better about yourself? Now I can stop letting you get to this point and actually like play again.
Yeah, and I don't
Yeah,
want to hear you
yeah.
say
I mean,
shit
if
about
you want to
layups.
try, that'd be yeah, no. I was shocked I got some of those.
It's hard being put on the spot. The Music City Miracle one I felt was.
I knew it was
away.
something miracle, and I couldn't put Music City together. I was like Nashville. I'm like, oh.
Once you said you're part of the answer, I was like, yes, okay, that is it. And I saw Billy smile like no other. I was like, oh, don't give it away, man.
Stop staring at me. There's still a
Can't
lot of
stop,
game
won't
left.
stop.
A lot of
Oh,
game
yeah.
left.
There's a lot of game left. It's all good.
Mm-hmm.
And now that I let you kind of get going, I'll try again.
Okay,
Means,
I
now Luke is in
appreciate
the lead,
that.
so he gets to pick next time if he goes first or not.
I know, right? This is weird. I've never been in this position.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, this is really awkward. I don't know what to do. I'm going to overthink this during this whole next week, and
the whole thing about this though is like
next week.
this is absolutely what you're going to think about this next week. Is oh my god, I'm beating T
Mhm.
West. This is the best week of my life.
Yep.
That's what you got.
Yeah,
So,
that's exactly what I'm going to think about.
Hats
the
off to
whole
you.
week.
I'm glad you got this going for you.
I'm glad that I finally had a really good week all put together. It was great. I'm happy about it.
Yeah.
And I think, you know what, for your comments, I'm not going to let off the throttle. I'm just going to keep going full throttle. Maybe I'll shut you out again next week. Who knows? Maybe we'll get up to that 50 points real quick now. Or maybe I've just been sandbagging it this whole time.
Oh,
knows?
okay.
Who
I like
knows?
how you, all right.
Yeah.
Quick switch
Yeah.
up there. All right, fellas. This is good. It's been fun. I'm still not excited for Super Bowl 59, but I think we have some good thoughts on what's going to happen. Let's hope what we want to have happen happens.
Mhm.
But here's to next season in the NFL because I am already done with this one.
Yep. And everybody post who you think is going to win, who you think your MVP is going to be for this game, who you're cheering for in general. We're interested. We want to hear it. See what you guys have to say.
Absolutely. Comment, like, subscribe. Let us know. Let us know who we got coming back every time.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, here's to a Midwest goodbye. Tell your folks we say hi.
Yep.
Cheers.
Tuning into the Burp. Let's get it. Let's get it. Get it. You did 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 it. Get it. You've been into the Burp. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it.